Hey, Lady J, welcome, welcome. Okay. So drop in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. Let me know you can see me. Let me know you can see the book talk banner as well. But we are here for another episode of Book Talk Tuesday. I have been reading the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. And it has been a really great read. I've definitely been enjoying it. I've been enjoying these conversations. We are all the way up to chapter 10. Actually finally finished reading the book this past weekend. I've been working on being very intentional with completing the books that I read, because I was also reading another book, One Too Many, and I don't think because it's on webinars, I don't think I'm going to do the book talk based off of that one. So I'll have to find another book, maybe one that I've already read, or um find
What
another book.
happened? I'm sorry. What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What part did you miss?
Hold on. I have a complaining family member in the background.
Okay.
Hold on, cause I'm trying to let this go, but they keep talking,
Okay.
so I can hear you. I just hold on.
Okay. So I'll do my introduction. For those that might be catching a replay or those that are on my YouTube channel, I'm Jaleesa, also known as Jaleesa the Golden Child. I am a publisher, an author, a speaker, a board certified holistic health practitioner, a doula in training. I am a human design expert, a Reiki master, energy worker, a I think I said a board certified holistic health practitioner, and a bunch of other things. But this space, when it comes to this book talk, is natural, regular book club. It's really just a space for us to really come and have conversations about the books that we're reading, to share the insights, to share the wisdom, to share the knowledge, and just generate more positive conversation. There's so much negativity going on in the world, so much negativity going on in the media, the news, whatever the case may be. So when it comes to my groups, my YouTube channel, my desire, my mission, my goal is to really share and spread more positivity and have more uplifting and high vibrational conversations. And I realized today I went to the doctor's office. My doctor is absolutely amazing, Black woman from Trinidad. And ever since my divorce and everything that I went through in that experience, she has been having me come in every 6 months just to kind of check in on me, to see how I'm doing with my health and my weight release journey. And today, since my appointment 6 months ago, I'm down 10 pounds. I released 10 pounds, and that experience just reminded me of how important it is to stick with positive and healthy habits, because I haven't been like weighing myself or anything like that. So I really didn't know. My mom has been telling me, oh, you look like you releasing weight. My partner has been telling me the same thing. And I'm just like, it really wasn't my quote unquote goal. Yes, my doctor has been telling me, yeah, you need to release weight. And I didn't realize until I went back and looked at my notes from previous sessions how much weight I actually gained going through my divorce process. So to now be in a space where I'm on the other side of releasing that weight, it just reminded me of how important it is to implement healthy habits, to implement things that are going to feed your mind, feed your body, feed your soul, feed your spirit, so that you are the healthiest and best version of you. So I said that to say the reason for this conversation is one of the things that I have been working on being intentional about is reading books, but not just reading them, but implementing what I'm reading, as well as integrating them into my subconscious, my mind, my being, so that it's not just something that I'm checking off to say, oh, I read today. It's me being very intentional with one,
Eat it and
having
it's
these
stinky.
conversations. You said
You
what,
ain't
Lady
gonna
J?
eat it.
Oh, having these conversations to really share what I'm learning and what I'm reading in these books. So, chapter 10 of Psycho-Cybernetics. Lady J, did you get your book yet?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because I'm I need your positive energy right now. I didn't know my mic was on.
It's okay. Look, I
I'm
know.
just going
Okay, shoot.
because we getting into it over here. So I'm just gonna listen and mute myself.
Okay. Did you get your book yet? Before you go on mute, did you get your book yet?
Yes, I did. I got the psychosomatic
Yeah,
I think I'm saying it
Psycho-Cybernetics.
right. Yes, I got that one. The forgiveness book, I am on the wait list for that. And that's the one I wanted to just bring up today.
Oh,
But I
okay.
can
No
wait.
worries. No worries. We can always talk about forgiveness, okay? Because it's necessary, okay? Trust me, it is
Yes.
necessary. So
Especially right
yeah,
now.
yes, and this is going to be a good conversation, especially for you, even if you just listening in, just the concepts and the information that is coming from this chapter. I feel like it's going to be supportive for you. So yes, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And no worries if you got to be on mute the whole time. I have another call at 6, so I got to be very intentional with my time here today. So, let me get to my notes. The chapter 10, the title of it is How to Remove Emotional Scars and Create a New Self-Image. Maltz, a plastic surgeon, he's actually a plastic surgeon. He's not the original writer of this book. The original writer of this book, Maxwell Maltz is the original writer. The one that redid the book is his name is Matt Fury. But Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon. But and this was before he became a self-image expert. He was really a self-image expert as a plastic surgeon, but he got more into the mental and emotional side of self-image. But he explains emotional scars as past hurts, traumas, and negative experiences that can shape our self-image just as much as physical scars. Many people carry emotional wounds that distort how they see themselves and limit what they believe is possible. And it also distorts how they show up in the world. They're not showing up as their most authentic self when they're carrying emotional wounds and living based off of those emotional wounds and experiences. But he says that there's good news. These scars can be healed and a new self-image can be created. This has been something that has really been supportive and pivotal for me when it comes to how I see myself, how I treat myself, being able to stick with healthy habits, being able to be consistent with the things that I know are going to support me, and having a sense of integrity when it comes to how I'm showing up. I'm not showing up in a space where I'm being phony. Like I've always been able to have this, I guess, duality when it comes to how I'm showing up. I can show up and shine. I can show up and be positive. I can show up and smile, even when there's things going on behind the scenes. But more so recently, I've been able to show up, yes, smile, but also let people know, like today, like if it's a challenging day, when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I'm gonna let them know, sis, bro, whoever it is, I'm having a challenging day. Yes, I might smile. Yes, I might bring positivity because that's just my personality. That's my energy. That's my aura. But there are days when my experiences, they beat me up and I don't have always have it to fight back. But this work on self-image has shown me how important it is to show up authentically, to let people know, listen, it's not always rainbows, sunshine, and unicorns over here. Okay. I do have challenges, I do have things that happen, but doing this self-image work, doing this internal work, it does not keep me down for long. I don't allow people's energy to impact me, their drama, their issues to impact me as much as I used to, because I do the inner work and I focus on my internal being so that I can kind of see situations, circumstances, and people from a more compassionate perspective, as well as from a space of emotional healing versus emotional scars. So, this chapter, the key points in this chapter are: emotional wounds affect self perception. Just like physical scars, past experiences, whether they're rejection, betrayal, criticism, failure, these leave emotional marks that shape our confidence and choices if we let them. If we define ourselves by the rejection, by the betrayal, by the criticism, by the quote unquote failure, that's when these emotional marks become wounds and they become scars and things that are long lasting versus something that can be used as a lesson, a blessing, or a redirection. When we have these experiences and label them as, oh, this person rejected me or betrayed me or they're criticizing me or it's a failure, that is a intentional slash unintentional choice, because the way that we perceive things comes from our subconscious, and these subconscious habits or the subconscious ways of thinking about things came from our programming from ages 0 to 7, mostly from the ages 0 to 7. So the more that we shift our perspective on the experiences, the easier it will be to not be so wounded and so scarred by situations and experiences that come up. Concept number 2, forgiveness as healing. Holding on to pain, resentment, and past failures only deepens emotional scars. True healing comes from releasing these burdens and giving yourself permission to move forward. By holding on to unforgiveness, by holding on to resentment, by holding on to pain, we are giving other people our power. We are giving them the power to hold us back. We are giving them the power to keep us stuck in a space, in a place where the damage has been done, and we're continuing to perpetuate the pain. We're continuing to perpetuate the wound and really deepening the wound, because we won't allow ourselves to move forward and give that person and ourselves grace. Because a lot of times unforgiveness it starts with us. When we get into relationships or situations with people and we're like, well, if I would have did XYZ, this wouldn't have happened, or if I wouldn't have opened myself up to this person, they wouldn't have been able to hurt me, or whatever the case may be. We try to find fault and blame, but it's really about having these experiences, learning the lessons from them, and moving forward with those lessons so that we're not repeating cycles. So, forgiveness as healing was the second one. Emotional wounds affect self perception was the first one. The third one is rewrite the narrative. And I literally was just talking about this. We are not defined by what happened to us. By consciously creating new beliefs about ourselves, we can reshape our self image and reclaim our power. There are so many things, situation, people, and circumstances on a day to day basis that we give our power over to. The only way someone can get our power is if we give it away to them. The only way an experience, a situation, and circumstance can take our power is if we give it to them. Nothing can take our power away from us, because it is in our control. It is within our being, and nothing can take that away from us unless we give it away to them. So remembering that, being responsible for our power and calling it back to ourselves, and being intentional about, you know what, I'm gonna give myself grace. For me, learning this and knowing this and actually acting it out has been two different things. Okay, it's easy to know something, to hear something, to be taught, or something shared with me, but then it's like when situations come up, one, it'll show me how much work I've done, or and also how much work I still have to do when it comes to those lessons. So for me, reclaiming my power has been a challenge, because my power was taken away from me at a young age, and that was just the norm. Because of the traumatic experiences that I had, because of the upbringing that I had, calling my power back and reclaiming my power was a challenging lesson, because I didn't know how. I didn't know even what that looked like. I didn't even know that I had power to begin with. So for me, reshaping my self image has been one of the things that has supported me with reclaiming my power, because I know now that I'm powerful. I know now that my power is limitless. And the only way that someone can take my power away now as an adult is if I give it to them. As a child, that's something different. But as an adult, the only way that someone can take our power away from us is if we give it to them. So now I'm reclaiming my power and reclaiming my identity as a powerful being. Number 4, the power of psychocybernetic surgery. Maltz suggests using visualization and affirmations to mentally remove old scars and replace them with the healthier, more empowering self concept. This one was one of my favorite concepts from this book, because it literally gave you practical visualizations and affirmations that you can do to remove and heal these old scars so that you have healthier responses and reactions to situations and circumstances. And one of them that I've actually been using recently was, he was basically talking about creating a safe space within our being and going to that safe space. And I wrote in the book, Preparing for War in Times of Peace. Going to that safe space, not only thinking about going to that safe space when it's chaos, when it's drama, when a situation arises, but being intentional throughout the day to go to that safe space so that I can relax and reset my nervous system so that when I'm moving throughout the day, I've had that time, even if it's just a moment or two, to reset and go to that safe space, calm myself down, reset my nervous system, and have that peace be manifested throughout the rest of my day. Um, Number 5, and my 2-year-old is coming up here screaming, so I might have to pause. But living from your true self is yeah, peace coming. Beneath emotional scars, our authentic, confident self still exists. Healing involves reconnecting. Hold on, y'all. All right, I am back. So the last key point from this chapter is living from your true self. Beneath emotional scars, our authentic, confident self still exists. When people try to say, "Oh, I gotta find myself, I gotta discover my purpose, I gotta discover who I truly am," you never really lost that person. That person has always been there. It's just been covered up with experiences, covered up with scars, covered up with the things that people have told you about yourself, covered up with thoughts and things that have been programmed into your mind to think about yourself. But your most authentic self, your true self, has never been lost. They've always been there, waiting for you to release all of these things that no longer serve you and accept the true nature of and identity of your being. Um, so it's about reconnecting with that version of yourself and remembering who you truly are. So those were the 5 key points from the chapter. It's 5:50. I'm gonna go into um the the quote from the book, and then we will close out for the day. Um, so and if Lady J, you can just come off mute if you have anything to share based off of the points that I shared. But if not, you could drop it in the chat and I can read it as well. Yes, positive energy is definitely good. Thank you, Boo. I appreciate you. It was very unexpected because, like I said, I haven't been really focused on my weight. I've just been focused on my healthy habits. But to see now, like, I'm actually getting results. Like, I felt it, the way that my clothes fit, all of that stuff. But like I said, I wasn't focused on it. But their focus, especially when it comes to Eastern medicine, that's their focus. So for me, it was just like I'm just I'm doing me, doing what I need to do for me.
Congratulations. I don't know if you can hear the whole conversation in the background, but my doctor diagnosed me as pre-diabetic. And so one of the things is I have to eat after a certain amount of time and I have to be consistent with it. So the problem for me is that the individuals that are my family, they don't have that problem. So I can't eat Carolina Kitchen. I can't eat McDonald's. I can't eat, Golden Corral. I can't, they're going there consistently and I can't eat any of that. So I have to stick to um, fruits that are low in sugar and like the a lot of things, which I'm not going to take too long, but you were mentioning something that you all were having on the Friday, and I know that I can't participate in eating certain things until I get in the safe range. So, congratulations to you. And I'm definitely doing the same thing. I'm making different changes, but I'm also noticing that certain things contribute to my health.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And Eastern what Eastern doctors don't necessarily talk about is that when it comes to being diagnosed with anything, that's really just the symptoms. It's not the root cause. So it might be your food, whatever the case may be, but it could also be stress. It could also be a mineral and vitamin imbalance. It could also be hormones that is contributing to your pre-diabetic state. So to say, oh, just change your diet and exercise, yes, it might work, but that's not getting to the root cause of it. So for me, doing the emotional work, doing the energetic work, doing the work to really have take do functional medicine testing, like the hair tissue analysis, what I'm doing right now, and taking the supplements from that. These are getting to the root of what's going on, versus it just being like a blanket, um, what what word am I like a blanket protocol. Our bodies are different. So to say, oh, it's just your diet and your exercise when it comes to those diagnoses, it could very well be. But the more inner work we do, the more that one of the things on one of my calls, they were saying, basically be your own doctor and go within yourself to find out what's really going on. Because everything that manifests itself physically starts in the spirit, or whether you say spirit, energetic realm, whatever the case may be, but it starts there. So the more you sit with yourself, the more you do that inner work to see what's going on and what does my being need to to really get back to a space of homeostasis, to get back to a place of balance, so that these diagnoses are not your portion. They're no longer a thing. So just something to really think about. What is it? Sitting with yourself, sitting with your body, and you can go back to, I don't know if you've ever been to one, but I do a Sunday, okay, uh Soul Care Sunday social, and it's on my YouTube channel. But if you go to that and do the 5 bodies assessment to really check in with the different parts of yourself to see what's going on and get to the root of this challenge that you're facing, this experience that you're having. It's the reason you're having this experience. There are some lessons, there's some blessings, and there may be some redirections. And even when it comes to family members that might be necessary for you. So just doing that exercise to really check in to see what your body needs. Using that muscle testing to see like what foods are supportive and what foods are not, because they can give you a list to say, oh, eat these and don't eat these. But when it comes to your body, when it comes to your body knows best. Your being knows best what it needs. So muscle testing when it comes to eating, your eating habits, even when it comes to going out to eat. Yes, it might be challenging to not eat the things that you normally eat. But if you want to go out and enjoy yourself with your family, go out. You know what I'm saying? Don't always say, oh, I can't go. Okay, you have church at 6. Okay. Because, I can't eat XYZ. Just make it so you're doing the best to do these things in moderation. So, but if you want to talk more about that, we can talk more about that offline. Okay, so the quotes. As in the case of a facial scar, excessive protection against the original source of injury can make us more vulnerable and do us even more damage in other areas. The emotional wall that we build as protection against one person cuts us off from all the other human beings and from our real selves. These are just direct quotes that I highlighted, that stood out to me from this chapter. Another one is, a big, strong man does not feel threatened by a small danger. A little man does. In the same way, a healthy, strong ego with plenty of self esteem does not feel itself threatened by every innocent remark. Where's the other one? Oh, when we feel hurt or feel offended, the feeling is entirely a matter of our own response. In fact, the feeling is our response. It is our own response that we have to be concerned about, not other people's. You are alone. You alone are responsible for your responses and reactions. You do not have to respond at all. You can remain relaxed and free from injury. So when you take offense, that's literally you taking on an offense because of your perception of what somebody else is doing or what somebody else is saying. Um there was another one, I think. Oh, true forgiveness comes only when we are able to see and emotionally accept that there is and was nothing for us to forgive. We should not have condemned or hated the other person in the first place. So this goes into really his concept of understanding the forgiveness. So I can't wait for you to get to that chapter. Um One of the biggest mistakes we can make is to confuse our behavior with ourselves, to conclude that because we did a certain act, it characterizes us as a certain sort of person. So just because we have a certain behavior doesn't mean that we should identify with that behavior. And then the last thing, this was literally the last sentence of the chapter. Your do it yourself kit consists of relaxation of negative tensions to prevent scars, therapeutic forgiveness to remove old scars, providing yourself with a tough but not a hard epidermis instead of a shell, creative living, a willingness to be a little vulnerable, and a nostalgia for the future instead of the past. So that was from chapter 10. Another really great chapter. It's 559. Like I said, this book has been absolutely amazing. It for emotional when emotional scars come from personal experience, family history, or systemic challenges. Many of us have had to navigate spaces where we weren't valued, experience microaggressions, or carry the weight of being the strong one. This chapter encourages releasing those burdens, healing from past wounds, and stepping into a self image rooted in wholeness and worthiness. This chapter is a powerful invitation to release past pain, reclaim self worth, and step fully into the life that you deserve. So, that was all I have from this chapter. Um, I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Book Talk Tuesday. We will continue on to chapter 11 next week. Was there anything you wanted to share before we hopped off, Lady J?
No.
All right. Well, I hope this was supportive for you. Thank you, as always, for joining. Like I said, if you want to reach out to me offline to talk about this or the health challenges you're experiencing, we can do that. But just know, if nobody told you today, remember that I love you. I see you, and I'm so proud of you. Take back your power and take back your peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you soon.
All right. See you.
All right. Peace.